Hi bitch, hi bitch. Please stop, please stop, please stop, please stop. What's up guys, it's Lamar and I'm coming to you with another video. And today, I have a lot of before we get started. But before we get started, if no one told you they love you and no one told you you're beautiful, I love you and you're beautiful. Okay, next, before we get started, I just want to sincerely apologize to you guys for not uploading, not recording last week, because it is now, I think, Thursday, and no video has gone up this week. But I have an explanation. So two weeks ago, I believe, my closet fell. Got that fixed, and I realized I had an infestation of ants. So, yeah, I had to get the ants out of my room. They were wood ants, not dirty ants. They were wood ants. And then a bitch was going through her emotions all throughout that. So your girl just, yeah, recording just wasn't on my to-do list last week. And I apologize for that, but I am human and life happens. So, let me tell you guys what we have happening on this channel. I watched 13 Reasons Why, both seasons, and you will get a hot topic on season 2 in about 2 weeks, so it gives you time to watch it, soak it in, deal with your emotions, everything like that. But because of that show, I have decided to do a little 4-part series mini thing. It will be let's talk about sex, let's talk about rape, let's talk about bullying, and let's talk about suicide. Probably not in that order, but yeah. And I think that is all of the sign notes for today. So, let's talk about sex, baby. So, yeah, guys, today we're going to be talking about sex. And okay, first of all, I'm a female, so I can only speak from a female standpoint. Guys, I'm sorry. I wish my boyfriend was here to tell you about sex from a guy's standpoint and how it is to lose your virginity as a guy and all of those great things. But I'm a female, and that's all I can speak for is females. Best friend, do you want to speak for the guys? She said she can't either. So, with that being said, let's get into it. Okay, so background on me. I am now 19. I lost my virginity when I was 17. Mm-hmm. And I lost it on February 6, 2016. It's also the same day that I started my birth control, not on purpose. We'll get into that later. I have 4 bodies and a tip that are consensual. We will get into that in the next video. And yeah. Okay. So with sex, I need people to realize. Okay, let's start here. Do not get into sex because you feel like you're being pressured. That is not a reason to start having sex. I probably pressured my best friend into start having sex only because I felt like I was having sex, so she needs to be having sex because we did everything together. But do not do it unless you are ready, okay? Because females, our bodies will go through a lot when it comes to sex. Our emotions will go through a lot when it comes to sex. Believe it or not, but all the responsibility 9 times out of 10 will end up on you when it comes to sex. So, let's start with responsibilities. When I say responsibilities, I mean make sure you are good. Make sure your mentee is good. Psyche mentee. Make sure your head space is good. Your emotions are good. Make sure your vagina is good, okay? Next, understand your body. Because if you don't understand what's going on down there, he not going to understand what's going on down there. Because he just got a penis. And he rub it a little bit. Boom. Fireworks. Us, on the other hand, we got to, like, maneuver up in there for the fireworks to go off. And then you also, okay, if you're like me, I personally can't take latex condoms down there because my cool cat burns. I don't know why. I ain't gone to a doctor about it. I probably should, but it burns when latex touches it. That's not saying just be out here fucking with no condom on. Because I don't want nobody to go out there and be like, well, now Lamari said if it burn, that means I ain't got to wear no condom. No, because they have latex free. They have lamb skin, sheep skin, something goat like skin. That. Goat skin. They have latex free. Will they be more expensive? Probably. But what's more expensive? That latex free condom or a baby? Let me tell you now. It's the baby. Mm-hmm. And don't say I can get an abortion because abortions are $600 and I don't think anybody wants to pay that. Next, let's talk about, before you lay down with this person, I want you to really think to yourself, is this somebody that if I had a kid with them, I would be okay to tell my mom I'm pregnant by so-and-so? Or for men, I would be okay with telling my mom or dad I got so-and-so pregnant. Because I know from the people that I'm friends with that have kids, when they got pregnant, the first thing they said was, how am I going to tell my mama? Because it's not even so much about how am I going to tell my mama I'm pregnant. It's more so, how am I going to tell my mama that I was dumb enough to get pregnant by this nigga? Because you also have to think about it. Ladies, if you are prepared to have sex, I need you to prepare yourself to take care of that baby by yourself. Not saying you will have to, but sometimes that comes with fucking, okay? So next, let's talk about our bodies, okay? Like I said, I started birth control the same day I lost my virginity. Not on purpose. They just both happened to land on a Sunday, and yeah. So, I lost my virginity, like I said, February 6, 2016 at it was 2-something in the morning. I slept over at my boyfriend's house, and Lord forgive me, I slept over at my boyfriend's house to go to church with him, and then boom, bam, boom, a penis was in me. So, yeah. I personally regret starting birth control and losing my virginity at the same time, because when you start having sex, your hips start to spread. And then for me, my birth control did make me gain a little bit of weight. So it was kind of like my hips were spreading, my weight was coming in. Like, I thought I would at least have time to be able to hide the fact that I was having sex. But nah, my pants stopped fitting real fast and people started looking at me crazy. So ladies, you have to be mindful of that. Birth control, there's different forms. For one, I'm not saying you have to take birth control, because birth control is not for everybody. But there are also different forms. You can get the little implant in your arm. I'm totally against it. You can get is it called a NuvaRing? Is that the thing you stick up your vagina? I don't know what it's called. But there's one that you can stick up your vagina yourself, I believe. And then there's one that has to be implanted in you, I believe.
Oh, I didn't know there was one you can do by yourself.
Yeah, I think there's 2. And then there's the Depo shot, which I know a lot of people feel like if they get Depo, they're going to blow up. But I know one girl who got Depo, and that bitch is skinny as shit. But then I also have another person that I know who got Depo, and I was looking at her like, bitch, are you pregnant? Because I made her blow up. But I personally take the pill. I don't know where my pills are right now. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I would not recommend the pill if you are not the type of person that take pills, if you are not good at staying on schedule, I would not recommend that pill, because let me tell y'all something. I might take the pill at 7 at the time I'm supposed to when my alarm goes off. I might take the pill at 10. I might take the pill at 2 in the morning. I might forget and take 2 pills at the same time. My birth control don't work no more, bro, okay? Well, it worked for the things it's supposed to work for, which is the reason I got on it, which was hormonal imbalance. So, with that being said, you need to find the birth control that is right for you, and you need to decide for yourself if birth control is right for you. Next, let's talk about the emotional factor in it. I personally, like I said, I have 4 bodies. This body was Evans, the person I lost my virginity to. This body is Ari. That's my second body. My third body was Miles. And then my fourth, there was a tip in between there. And then there was my boyfriend now, who that body not going nowhere. We keeping that body out of the situation, because if that body goes somewhere, we got problems. My first body, Evans, when we started having sex, we were 6 months into our relationship. And then I felt like he had earned it, which, ladies, never feel like a man should earn something as precious as that. You should just want to, I don't know if I'm wording this right. It should be something that you feel like it's right. Don't give it up because you feel like he earned it. Yes, men are dogs, but he does not deserve that as a treat. So with that being said, I felt like he had earned it, so I gave him my virginity. And I don't regret giving it to him, but I do regret the timing. I felt like if I had waited, he would have respected me more, and we wouldn't have broken up the way that we did. And I also feel like it went from us being able to not necessarily talk about everything that was wrong, but we could work things out to, after we had sex, we only lasted 3 more months, because if I got mad, we had sex. He got mad, we had sex. We got in an argument, we had sex. We was sad, we had sex. If I didn't have sex with him, he had sex with somebody else. It just all became about sex. And then with my second body, I wasn't even dating him, and I didn't want him to stop being my friend, so we had sex. And I know that sounds really stupid, but sometimes once you start having sex with this person, you really don't want to lose them, because now you feel like you gave them a part of you. And this is not everybody. This is just people I've talked to that have said this to me, and we all agree. Put that disclaimer in there. Once you give somebody a piece of you, because when you have sex, that person takes a piece of you. And once you give that person a piece of you, it sometimes just feels like I will do anything to get that person to stay. So sometimes you'll just keep it up. I didn't keep it up with that friend. We only had sex twice, but I regret both times, because I feel like I added an extra body to my list that was not needed. And then you have my ex-boyfriend, Miles, which was the body before my last. And that was just a toxic relationship. But because we had already became involved with each other, I felt like I would rather stick with this person than us break up. I have to go through it all over again and start having sex with someone all over again. Because I don't know about anybody else, but for me, having sex with a new person is nerve-wracking, because you don't know how experienced this person is, or what he's gonna think of you, what if the other girls' bodies look like. Like, this is stuff that I really thought about. Even with my boyfriend now, I had seen some videos in his phone of other girls, and I was like, I don't know if we should have sex, because I can't do all that. I'm flexible, but I can't. Boo-boo. You ain't getting that out of me. And it was some other stuff I saw that just scared me. I was like, And I feel like if you're going to start having sex, you need to make sure you are emotionally prepared for that. You need to really think about where you are mentally. All that being said, I guess it just all comes down to, before you decide to have sex, or even if you've already decided to make that choice and you're just trying to figure your emotions out and yourself out, you should never feel like you're a piece of meat. You should never feel pressure. You should never be uncomfortable when it comes to sex. And you should never feel like, this is going to sound bad, but don't be scared to add a list to your body. Don't stick with the body that you have because you feel like adding a list will make you a hoe. Because it doesn't. And I hate slut shaming because of stuff like that, because it makes, you never know what's going on with a girl emotionally. So, yeah, I'm going to stop there and leave your comments and stuff of how you feel down below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Tune in Friday for our Hot Topics. We're going to be talking about the royal wedding. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on social media. And yeah.